Yo, hey, I'm sitting here with Money B right now. It's your boy Darius Love. We are here to let you know officially, exclusively, if you subscribe, you can now come to YouTube Live for the 44th annual Tupac Shakur birthday. Money B, Layla Steinberg, Ray Love, Mo Preem Shakur, the whole family's gonna be there, or you. Only way you can get there is if you subscribe, and you might get a chance to dive live. Hit them with the channel to subscribe so they can take a ride with Dive Live.
The channel to subscribe to is the Going Way Back Show. Not going, Goin. G-O-I-N. The Going Way Back Show. Classic hip-hop, raw and uncut. Check out your boy, Money B from Digital Underground, giving you all that old school shiznit that you love. So you feel me? So make sure you get it.
Going
Way
back. Make sure y'all get that right. Tell us about the show, Money, and how you're in syndication and live streaming now.
Well, the show is called The Going Way Back Show, and the tagline is Classic Hip-Hop, Raw and Uncut. And basically what it is, you know, it's a platform where we celebrate our classic artists. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of hip-hop that we love, and we always will love, but a lot of these artists are still active.
Right.
They're still touring, they're still making music. They have other endeavors. They move on to doing other things. So it's basically a platform where we celebrate our classic artists. You know, we share the music, but we also bring the artists on and, you know, let the people see what they're doing and let them tell their story.
So not just going way back, but actually going back to bring them forward and seeing what's relevant in their lives, how they reinvented themselves, different things that we all know as fans. We love them and adore them, but don't know what's currently going on with them.
Yeah, but we also go back and revisit, you know, the
history.
The history, you know, we'll put them on. Like,
give me one of your favorites, by the way, like one of your artists that you almost forgot that happened, but was such a pivoting point in hip-hop and in history and the lineage of hip-hop.
Well, I'm such a hip-hop fan. It's like some of the cats that I would mention probably wouldn't mean a lot to other people, but like Spider D. I don't know if you guys remember Spider D.
Come on.
You know, made Smurfy's Dance or whatever, and he just was giving me a lot of game about, you know, the earlier times and stuff like that.
Wow.
And just, it was interesting, just the whole thing as far as, like, you know that song, This Is How We Do. That was a total bite of Spider D's song. And he was telling me how it was an ongoing lawsuit and with Dre, like, they knew that they, so I wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, they actually took that song and remade it. They just changed the bass line. But the drums are exactly the same.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And he was just telling me the whole get down of how that happened. You know, a lot of my favorites are just cats, because, you know, I've been in the game for 25 plus years.
Money,
so,
you look, oh, by the way, Money, you don't age. I don't know what kind of alkaline water you drinking. I don't know what's your method to the mayhem, but let me tell you.
Is that Stay Young vodka? You got to get some.
Damn right, man, because, you know, it's funny because I look back. One of the things that I really look back and I can really say, now that I have you here and I'm asking you as a question, making a song but having a dance to it.
Right.
That's something you guys pioneered. Or was there an influence that everything has stem cells off of something, right?
Right. I mean, you had the Pee Wee Herman dance, the Pee Wee dance. I mean, it's been a lot of songs, man. You know, the twist, you know what I'm saying? It just goes back. I think with that song, the Humpty Dance is what we're talking about. I don't believe that it was made specifically to create a dance. My younger brother is actually, he helped come up with the dance. We did that song, it was in '89, and it was right around the time of the big earthquake in the Bay Area in San Francisco. And so if you think about it, the Humpty Dance is kind of like, kind of keep your balance and floor shake. My brother Cullen and Shot kind of formulated the dance, and it was derived from or inspired by the earthquake in '89.
Who would ever known that? That's the truth on the Truth About Tupac that you would have never known if you didn't have the one and only Money B. Money is so many. It's real shit, man. And also, you know, one thing I wanted to touch on was that the acting career for Pac. Yes, he was doing acting in performing arts school, but to switch over to professional, I've heard, quote unquote, from studying and going into the character and getting in the mind of Pac and the Pac energy, that you took him to the Juice audition.
Yeah, well, it
was your audition.
It was my audition.
Yeah.
We were writing to it, and then I just asked him to come along because I read the script and I was like, the character sounded like Pac, and I was asking him to help me because I knew he acted. And then I was just like, you know what? You should come because you'll probably have a better chance of getting it than I will.
What humility, brother.
You know.
I mean, that to me is something that when I think of Money B, and I think of somebody that continues to contribute to others,
right.
I mean, God is going to ask us in life, what do we do that was other than for ourselves?
Right.
And to see that you continuously have an influence in our lives, starting way back with Pac's lives and everybody you touched from the digital underground days, I mean, that's something that we don't see this day and time with artists. Yeah. They're so busy battling, they're so busy going at each other's neck that you don't see people sticking their neck out for each other. And I just had to commend you on that, brother, because Pac's acting career was just as important as his music career.
Oh, it was. Most definitely.
I think his first deal was kind of influenced off of him being this star that had a following.
What, with Interscope?
With Interscope. Is that something that Adrian, I was talking to Adrian, he was saying it helped him get the deal by the fact that he had this big movie coming out?
I don't know about that. Adrian will probably be able to tell you, but what I do know is that when he did get the deal with Interscope, they signed him because they believed in him as a complete artist. Because, you know, his revisionist history will tell us that Tupacalypse Now was this great album, this great successful album. Well, it kind of wasn't. It was a failure as far as sales when it came out. So if you think about it, in this day and age, had Tupac come out and put out an album that did the same numbers, basically,
right,
he would have been dropped.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he did 100,000 or something like that.
Right. It was a lowest selling album.
It was, But Jimmy Iovine, and not Jimmy Iovine, but
Ted Fields, Tom Wiley.
Tom Wiley.
Yes, sir.
They believed in Pac as an artist, so they overlooked the sales of
that album,
of the record. And it's like, you know, we believe in him. We think he's a star, so just make the next one. I still like the album.
Yes.
You know, but
it's some of the hip hop that is something about that album that it really speaks to the core of what Mr. Shakur was as an individual. He was more, for me, as I study him, I learned that he was an evolutionary, not a revolutionary. He was using the art to be a voice for the voiceless. He was a reporter. He was a reporter reporting what the stories that we live that weren't getting out.
Right.
And it was just interesting to see somebody really put their neck on the line for us, like the stories where Brenda got a baby, to tell stories that most people was like, I ain't gonna go there, even though we know it's happening.
Right. Yeah, that Tupacalypse Now, that album, he did that record for us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like for the people. You know, he wanted to speak about what's going on, because you think about it, on that album, he wasn't really talking about how, you know, I'm shining. Well, he wasn't shining, so he couldn't. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
It wasn't a me record.
There you go.
Damn near every song was about a situation, subject, or some kind of issue that he had.
Yeah. Police brutality way back then.
Violent. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Young black male.
Come on. Trap.
Tears of, Ray Love wrote Trap.
Absolutely. Big shout out to our big brother Ray Love, another pioneer of the Truth About Tupac movement. We sitting here with one of the board of directors, y'all. These are the guys that
Produced by Pee Wee.
Produced by Pee Wee. Tell us about Pee Wee.
Pee Wee, if you're familiar with Digital Underground, we had subgroups, Raw Fusion, we had Gold Money, which was Pee Wee and Big Money Otis, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Pee Wee is a dope-ass producer, musician, and rapper. He's just dope. All the way around.
Yeah.
But, he ended up eventually getting down with Too Short and the Dangerous Crew. So he did a lot of production for them for many, many years. And he did production with Prince, George Clinton, other people.
Wow.
But as of now, he's currently touring with Shock G and the Shock G Trio. So he's just a dope-ass musician. Like, me and Pee Wee have been talking, so we got some music in the works.
What's up with you and the music?
And speaking of Pee Wee talking about the music, what's funny is I was just talking to him because he was so ahead of his time that I actually asked him if I could cover a song that they did called Young Blood. Was it Young Blood? Listen to the Gold Money album. The song when he talking about Daddy was a pimpin' ass motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about?
Word.
Yeah.
Big shout out to our boy Cletus Mack. What up, Cleet?
You listen to the lyrics of that record, that shit is relevant today. And I told him, I was like, dog, I want to just remake it and say the same lyrics.
Wow.
Over the same beat, just 2015 style. And that's how dope that Pee Wee was. Is that
he was that ahead of his time.
Ahead of his time that even now I want to redo and share some of that music. As far as new music, I'm always working on new music. As far as myself, you know, I'm always going to do music, and it's not really something that I'm striving to, you know, I'm not like, oh, I got to have this great.
Yeah, I need to starlight again. I need to start.
Yeah, I'm
Money B.
Yeah, it's just that, it's just in me to create. But more importantly, I have an artist, and his name is Lil Mikey the Money Boy. And he's from East Oakland, California.
Word. What up, Oakland? What's shout out? Stand up, Oak.
Lil Mikey TMB, so you got to look out for him. You know, he in the streets, man. You know, he buzzing in the streets as far as his music.
Yeah, he got a pioneer behind him.
That's
OG,
right.
A true OG to this.
And just to show you, like, he got the mechanics who are like Bay Area production. Is the mechanics. Anybody that you think coming out the Bay, E40, Too Short, Mac Dre, all produced by the mechanics.
Yes, kind of like the Dungeon family of the Bay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been checking y'all out, man. Shout out.
The mechanics are the Bay Area sound.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to know what's happening in the Bay, if you hear something, pretty much the mechanics got something to do with it.
Yes, sir.
They touching it.
Yes, sir.
And they touching Lil Mikey the Money Boy. He's official. You know
What's his Instagram, his Twitter, his website? We only got 55 million followers following this.
Instagram at Eastside Nino96.
That's what's up.
Check them out.
That's what's. You got the music. You got the radio station. I mean the channel. I mean you're doing many I can basically say that you reinvented yourself to being the pioneer and the entrepreneur that we always knew you were.
And remember what he said. The YouTube channel, The Going Way Back Show. Get with us, man. Make sure you subscribe.
So on a note, right now we're gonna wrap out this Money B interview. We got a big shout out to Shock G, the whole digital underground. Just wanted to get a moment in Money B's current and past situation. We want y'all to check out the radio station. We want y'all to check out the YouTube channel. And more importantly, we want y'all to subscribe and let us know how y'all like this interview. All right? Stay tuned. It's your boy D Love, Truth About Tupac, Tupac Shakur channel live at YouTube. Right on the Truth About Tupac. Y'all come take a ride on Pac 44th birthday. Come see the real ones, original outlaw nuts.